again, I'm saying it now because it's the same story. I'm trying to say that I personally believe that media can look at learning how to make well-being stories, really focusing more on humanity. I mean, it's just that you can't really escape the corporatization, the professionalism, the industrialization, all of that. It's so baked in, even when they're trying to do something that sounds, like it's a very human interest story, or that they're carrying it. It just comes off as insincere because that's the way that they've always done it, and move on to the next thing and not follow up. That's the way it is. And, I had to do the inner work to deal with my feelings of betrayal, resentment, embitterment, and the grief, all of that stuff. And as I said in that video, I forgive them because I do know how it is. I find that the environment, the culture there, it didn't work for me. I think in some capacity it can work with me, in that making a video or a show or movie, short film, does not have to be that difficult. So don't get me wrong that I'm a hater of media, that I'm this hypercritical and I'm shaming that. Well, I mean, I was one that was shamed and humiliated. That's not what I'm trying to do. I love the medium of media, and I believe in freedom of the press. And it's important, I feel, that I say that. All I really would like is that people can think about the media they're consuming. And I mean, that's a bit of a tough sell, I guess. I mean, it's like me saying, are you drinking ethically made coffee or something like that? Are you wearing ethically made pants? I mean, it's just, there's certain things that, like, I like to be informed. I watch all kinds of stuff. I like to get a sense of things you wouldn't believe I saw. And it's so I can have an understanding of people. And, why is there this group of people saying this stuff? It reaches a point for me where I have to make decisions for myself and say, well, it's okay if I don't want to listen to that group for today. That's fine. I don't have to participate in such and such. So I'm holding space for me to preserve myself, to practice self-care, and to know my worth. I do know my worth in that, I don't want to go back to a set where there's the shame and humiliation and discriminatory practice, overwhelming stress and social trauma, or, I mean, it's just, if I know that about such and such a company, or just, well, a lot of the way these things work, it's unfortunate for me because I'm very much interested in writing, performing, editing. I like all this stuff, but if it's a set of contemptible people, why would I put myself through that? I say going through abuse for your work, for a paycheck, isn't a badge of honor. It's really something that doesn't make sense to me. And that's why I'm working independently, and I'm not really attached to legacy media or new media, social media. I am my own person, and I just don't see any use of going to a place where I'm thought of as a dishwasher and janitor for the rest of time, and really not wanting to pay me. I'm starting to rehash and repeat, so I'm gonna try to stop myself here, and I'm sorry. I'm still working through a lot of this stuff every day. I don't think that I sound as crazy or out to lunch as people may think I am. I've been through this experience that's extremely difficult. I think a lot of media people will end up probably in a very similar spot. As I said, once more automation, AI comes into the media industry, a lot of these people won't have jobs. They won't have opportunities. The media, as we know it, it's self-destructing, and that's because it just was the very basis of what it was for over 100 years. It just wasn't good. I'll put it that way. What else do I want to say? I want to say that I am funny, by the way. I do have a sense of humor. No, I know sometimes I sound very serious and I get into this heavy subject matter for whatever reason. But actually, no, I do have a sense of humor and I can work with people. I am open to collaboration. A lot of those opportunities have gotten by me. Even before I spoke up about the experience of psychological abuse and all the things that I've talked about, I still wasn't able to really collaborate or work with people. And again, that's the the thing of, once you're known as somebody that does everything by themselves, once you're sort of a DIY person, then you really do become that one person show. I wish that I did a better job in terms of connection. I wish that others that I had met and worked with and all of that, I wish they were nicer. But look, I do end up doing a lot on my own, and I look after myself. Okay, I think that's about it. I am still working through this. It was a very severe situation that I was in. I kind of regret in a way that, I don't know, it's just like certain things I've said, it doesn't quite get through. Well, I regret that it's taken up so much mental energy for me. I didn't really realize how much all of that would impact my life. That I was involved with media at one time and social media as well. Both have had a very profound impact on my life. And, you know, it's one of these things, I wake up every day and I'm exposed to media because it's communications. And like any form of entertainment or people sharing information, it's really about making connection. And that's something that I regret that I really just haven't done a good job at making connection. Doesn't go as planned. For me, it doesn't work out. I know the thing with all of it is that, well, people are going to take away from me what they're going to. Believe me, I know the opinions, the beliefs, the thoughts that people have of me and my experiences, in that, you know, it's like, why can't he just, you know, get on with it? And it's like, well, the way that life is, sometimes it is unfair. You don't have control over everything, and you can try your best. You can do your heart, you can work really hard at something, and yeah, it doesn't mean it's going to work out. It's a very difficult subject. And that's, again, that's why I'm on this healing journey with it. Losing a job and just the whole thing, watching all of that dissolve in front of me. Yes, it's traumatic. It's loss and grief. It's constantly right in my face. If it's not something that's part of your experience, if someone else's experience, I can't really convince them of it. I can only really just share what I'm going through, acknowledging the areas where I screwed up. I could have done better. I wish I had made stronger decisions. There were times I had really poor judgment and things that I just shouldn't have even been involved in. You know, and I can beat myself up and go through all the criticisms and the blaming and really out of this whole thing. And it's so difficult to talk about. The subject matter is difficult to talk about, but it's also really the wider scope of the issue. again, it's systemic. These are systemic issues within media industries. All I can do is bring awareness at this time. Really, I just try to carry on, take my medication, I go to therapy, and I see my doctor, and I talk things out with my support system, and I do have resources, etc., etc. It's just that, yeah, the truth is it's been a very difficult situation, and that something that happened, and that's the way it is. So that's my update is, yeah, I mean, in short, really, in a nutshell, I know this is running way too long. It's still pretty much the exact same. I just don't hear from people, I guess, in a way that feels authentic, genuine, sincere for me. Not that every interaction I have to have is, supposed to be that way, but I think it's certainly obvious that I'm really not making connection.